In this video, I'm going to show you how to do your monochromatic sphere. We're going to use the same sphere reference that we always use. It's a good old reference, so make sure that you have that handy so you know how to do your values for your monochromatic sphere. Monochromatic is tints, tones, and shades of a single hue or color. So when we look up at our color wheel that we've completed above, you can see that if we were to do red-orange, you would have the true red-orange, the white red-orange, and then this is actually more of a true red-orange. So let's check out our color wheel tool. When you turn the color wheel tool, you can see red-orange with white, with gray, and with black added. Okay, so for your monochromatic sphere, you're going to choose any of these colors, probably not yellow or yellow-orange because they're too light, but any of these colors, and do its tints, tones, and shades. If you need help deciding what the tints, tones, and shades would look like, just flip over the example color wheels and look on the back and it will tell you. If you need help doing this, let me know. So I'm going to look at my colors that I have out here. And again, you're welcome to choose whatever color you would like. You don't have to just do the color that I want as long as it's not dark. Or excuse me, that it is dark and it's not light. All right, so to do my monochromatic sphere, I have selected a variety of teal and blue and green colored pencils. I'm aiming for a blue-green monochromatic sphere, and that's what I'm going to be working on over here. So I'll show you for a little bit, and then you are welcome to go independently, or you can keep watching along with me while I do this so that you can learn from it, just depending on your comfort level. So what I'm going to do is to start with a kind of lighter one, and you see how I have this whole group and family hanging out up here with black and white and gray as well. And I'm going to start with kind of a medium color. Now with my medium color, it's this peacock green. I'm going to go into, and I'm looking at my reference picture, I'm going to go into the reference picture or into this drawing the sphere with a very light pressure because I want to do layering. If you push hard from the beginning, you will not be able to layer for your colored pencils, and you won't be able to get any kind of a nice sophisticated look. You'll just get one solid color and it'll look kind of like a coloring book. So start with light pressure and make sure that you're going in the rounded direction around the sphere to make it appear to be three-dimensional, So I'm going very lightly with like a light to medium version of the color that I chose. So I'm coloring it around. Again, our goal is always to make the stroke lines disappear. We want people to look at our work and be like, how did they do that? That's so amazing. And we can get that kind of a look if we get our stroke lines to disappear. Okay, and then I'm going to continue with the same color because we're going to be layering out throughout our little shadows. And I will lay it in. All right, so this is the first little tone. You can see that it's going to be monochromatic. Now I'm going to go in with a darker tone. The darker tone I've chosen is this cobalt turquoise. I don't know how many colored pencils of these there are, but I stole it out of one of the buckets. And it's a nice dark tone. You can see that I'm still kind of going in the same direction. I'm still using light pressure, but I'm changing to a darker color to make it darker. Rather than just pushing harder, I'm not pushing harder at all. I'm switching colored pencils, and that's what I would like you to do when you want it to get darker. I would like you to layer and to switch colored pencils so that it looks more sophisticated. Don't just push harder. So we're filling it in here. It's looking pretty nice. Now I'm going to go in a flat direction, right, so that it's horizontal. So the shadow looks like it's laying on the table. So I'm going to make a bunch of horizontal lines to fill in the tone here. Next, I'm going to get the lightest version of this color. I think it's called Aquamarine, and I'm going to go on here. I really just looked around for anything that could be considered teal. Dark teal and light teal. This one's a little bit bluer of a teal, but they're all kind of the same color, the same blue-green hue, but different tints and shades. Okay, so I'm just gently layering, trying to get all of the colors in all of the parts, because that will create visual unity. Repetition creates visual unity, so you want to make sure that you repeat the colors throughout in order to tie the picture together and make it look like it belongs together. So I'll go in and get this little shadow taken care of. Ooh, all right, little shadow, cool. Okay, now we're going to get it darker. And for monochromatic, when you're getting things darker with monochromatic, you use black and gray. So I'm going to go in with my black in the areas that are darker, making sure that I'm going around the sphere to make it rounded, like this. Not a lot of pressure, but it's definitely making it look a lot darker. Now, I'm not getting all the way to the edge in all the places of the sphere because we have the reflected light that happens right at the bottom where it comes in contact with the table. There's some light that reflects onto it, so you should have a little bit of a lighter area right at the base of this. And then I'm going to get in carefully in my shadow and make sure that the core of this shadow, the darkest part, is right up close to the edge of the sphere, but that it leaves a little gap for the reflected light. Okay, so then now I'm going to take the gray that I found. And so tints, tones, and shades, so I'm going to add a little bit of gray in here to help transition from the black tone to the color itself. Like that. And get it down into the reflected light area. Feel like we're getting a good transition, gentle and slowly from the darkness to the color itself. And then now I'm going to come over and use some more of the light color. And what I'm going to do with this is just sporadically add it into the lightest area. So a little bit here and there, very, very lightly, but I do want it to be teal everywhere. Just very careful to make sure that I'm maintaining the curvature of the sphere as I go around. So we're going around like this. And I'm going to go over the dark areas as well, again, because I want to make sure that they are the actual color that I'm aiming for, my monochrome blue-green color, not black. And through this layering, I think I'm getting a pretty decent sphere shape. It's all looking fairly nicely blended. Getting pretty happy with the way this looks. And then I'm going to go into it with the white. So check your white, make sure it's not dirty. Mine only has the color on the end that I'm using, so I'm not really worried about that. And I'm going to use the white to go into the highlight area and to blend into the lightest part. But I don't want to lighten up the dark parts, so I won't use the white on the dark parts. because the white will make them a lot lighter. Right, but that does make it a little more continuous. If you want to, you can take your colorless blender, again checking to make sure that it's not dirty. This one has red on it, so I just kind of scribble over to the side and scribble off the red. Okay, and then you can use your colorless blender to blend up some of the bottom, right? Because remember when we did our color wheel, we learned that the colorless blender makes things a little darker, the white makes things a little lighter. So you just use them depending on what you're looking for. You go like this. All right, pretty cool. Got that nice and filled in. That's it for your monochromatic sphere.